Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to another Koze Daily Brew. Today I thought we could talk about how I create content and how I stay focused. Oh, gets completely unfocused talking about how to stay focused. This was a question that I was recently asked: how I come up with content, how do I create it, and how do I follow through on actually staying on the course of creating said content. And I feel like there's quite a few different answers I could give to that. I've been doing YouTube for, I think we figured it out in another Koze Daily, that it's been like 6, almost 7 years now. And creating content, it's one of the most amazing jobs in the world. I wouldn't trade it for anything. But at the same time, it does come with, like everything does, everything comes with a little bit of challenge. And the biggest challenge when you're doing a creative field of work, when it comes to a job, it is definitely keeping your ideas fresh and staying motivated to actually follow through on creating said ideas. So the first thing that I think makes it super easy for me to constantly keep creating and constantly, I guess, stay motivated in following through on that creation is, I think that when you are spending a lot of your time and spending a lot of your mind space, spending a lot of your energy on what you truly feel is your purpose, then it becomes really easy to stay hooked into it and to stay motivated. I did a video with you guys in this whole Koze Daily Brew series where we talked about what I would do if YouTube was no longer a thing or if it never became a thing. And all three of the things that I said I would do kind of feed into exactly what I'm still doing now. So no matter what, if it was YouTube or anything else, like no matter what I would be doing, I can tell that my purpose must be something similar, because even if you take what I physically do away, the whole concept behind what I'm trying to do, which would be either write, teach, or do yoga, like things like that, all of those things feed into what exactly it is I do now. So I'm also getting my teachers, my yoga teacher training right now, and I learned about Dharma just recently, and that is basically your duty or your responsibility. And they say that like Dharma is, if you decide to get a dog, then it becomes your Dharma to make sure that that dog lives a fulfilled life and purpose. And it's also too, like, you can have smaller Dharmas like that, or like if you have a kid, like your Dharma is, or your purpose is to take care of that kid. You can also have bigger Dharma and bigger purposes. And so I feel like in learning about purpose and learning about just what I would do if YouTube didn't exist, it made me realize that a lot of the things that I am doing right now do align with my Dharma, and they do align with what I feel is my bigger purpose, and that is to share and express myself, but to do so in a way that isn't more so like, I guess to do so in a way that resonates and connects with other people and makes other people feel like they have it in themselves too, to do whatever it is they want to do, because that's constantly what I'm trying to show myself. And so I guess that's my bigger, like the biggest thing that keeps me in it and that keeps me on it is just that it is aligned with my bigger purpose. I think that when we're doing things for the wrong reasons, when we arrive to create content or even like social media or any job, when you arrive to whatever it is that you're meant to do and you have a task list for the day, it's a lot harder to go through that task list, and it's a lot harder to follow through on all of it, like for a long extended period of time without a lot of discipline, if it doesn't align with your bigger purpose. And you'll know when it doesn't, because I feel like it's one of those gut feelings you have. I didn't really know that that was what my Dharma was until I really sat down and thought about it. But I think along the way, your Dharma is kind of like very obvious. It's almost sometimes the most obvious things in life that we don't necessarily see. So if you're feeling like you're not having that purpose or that Dharma, and you're feeling like what you're doing isn't in alignment with it, then ask yourself, or just don't even ask yourself, like pull out a piece of paper and write down a lot of the times that you feel most in tune with the world and yourself, and you'll start to notice the connections between all of those things, and maybe you'll be able to cite your own Dharma, maybe? I don't know. Give it a try. The second way that I stay motivated to constantly keep creating is anytime there's anything going on in my life, good or bad, is I try and use it as inspiration. And this is a big thing when it comes to how I actually come up with ideas to create content. So especially with these Koze Dailies, I will literally sit down and be like, okay, what's going on in my life today? What's a thought that I recently had that I found was kind of interesting and would be fun to talk about with other people? What is a recent thing that I've learned? What is something that the world is trying to teach me right now, or that my life is trying to teach me right now? Or what is a setback that I'm having that other people could also relate to? Whether I'm going through good things or bad things, I either want to recreate this good feeling that something has made me feel and try and share that feeling with other people, Or I want to learn from like the harder things that are going on in my life and again, share it with other people in case other people are dealing with the exact same thing and can resonate or connect with it in their own way. And so when it comes to actually creating content, whether it's a Koze Daily and I'm sitting down and chatting with you guys or whatever it is, a lot of the times I gain inspiration by what's going on in my life. So last but not least, in terms of staying motivated to constantly create and keep up with my job, I think that a lot of it comes from finding a lot of freedom in self-discipline. This is kind of like a mental concept that I came up with, or that I learned, I guess, back in February when I was reading the book, The Tree of Yoga, I believe it was called. And he went into saying that a lot of the times freedom is actually on the other side of self-discipline, because when you discipline yourself enough that you're not constantly trying to decide or waste up your energy or time wondering what you should be doing and wondering whether you feel like doing something, then that discipline opens up the doorway to freedom, because your brain is not stuck on trying to figure out what it should be doing, what it wants to be doing. It just knows what it has to be doing or what it said it would be doing, and it shows up and does that. And so self-discipline is one of those things that I think it's hard to get that balance with self-discipline, but I know whenever I do have a good balance of self-discipline and I arrive to the things that I say I'm going to do and I actually follow through on them, it opens up that feeling of freedom inside of me, which literally does. I feel like it opens me up to coming up with better ideas. It gives me more opportunity. It gives me more just chance to actually follow through on more and more things, which makes me more and more excited and more free by using more and more self-discipline. So it can be hard because I feel like self-discipline can tip either way on the scale, where you're either not disciplined enough or almost too disciplined that you also, are just basically you've set out to do way too much than physically, humanly possible, and then self-discipline turns into just destruction. So I feel like it's all about finding that balance of self-discipline, of saying this is a realistic lifestyle for me to live. Now I just need to basically show up and live it. And then once you actually follow through on that and you prove to yourself that you're able to do so, I think that discipline then gives you the freedom of just being more passionate about what you're doing and being more motivated in what you're doing and being more connected to what you're doing. Because I guess the whole concept that I'm getting at throughout this whole video is to just basically connect what you do and what you want to create to how you're actually living and feeling and breathing and just experiencing your life. And when you can connect those two things, I don't think that maybe that's for everyone. I think that there are definitely some people on this planet that like to keep what they do far away from what they love, and I think that that's great, but I'm not one of those people. So what I do and what I love has to connect, or else I feel like I'm wasting my time. And so yeah, I guess that's my biggest answer, is when it comes to creating and when it comes to coming up with ideas and when it comes to staying motivated and persevering through, seeing through all of those ideas, it definitely all boils down to how connected I feel to what it is I'm doing and how connected my intention is to my action. Wow, okay, that got deeper than I thought it would. So there you guys have it. That's a pretty good example of how I stay motivated in my everyday life and job. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys want me to dive into more specific concepts of how I come up with videos and how I come up with content and all of that juicy good stuff, then definitely let me know. And aside from that, I'll talk to you guys all tomorrow morning. Bye guys.